Welcome to Integration Insights Navigating Success, where we unravel the complexity of system integration. Good day. I am your host, Latoyo Davy, and today we have three highly experienced experts joining us to discuss common challenges and best practices in system integration. Let's jump straight into the heart of it. Our first guest with us today is Ashantia Clarke, an experienced professional in navigating system integration challenges. Ashantia, could you shed some light on common challenges in integration?
Certainly, Ms. Latoyo. One common challenge is the issue of multiple vendor integration responsibility. For example, in a manufacturing setup, different vendors may be responsible for various components like machinery and software, leading to coordination challenges. Another challenge is varying stakeholder perspectives. Imagine a scenario where stakeholders from different departments have conflicting views on how the integrated system should function. This can create communication gaps and hinder process. Insufficient supporting infrastructure is another angle. Consider a situation where the existing IT infrastructure struggles to accommodate the desired integration model, causing bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Lastly, let's look at the product transfers, specifically machine-to-machine communication, right? Picture a scenario where machines need to seamlessly exchange data in a production line. Any disruptions here can lead to operational setbacks.
Those are indeed some common challenges, Ashantia. Now let's move on to our second guest, Mr. Sovon Badu, who will guide us through system integration best practices. Welcome, Sovon. Could you share insights on best practices in system integration?
Absolutely, Latoya. A crucial practice in selecting a reliable systems integrator is just like choosing the right team is vital for a sports event. Picking the right integrator is key for successful system integration projects. Allocating appropriate roles and decision rights to project managers also is equally important. Imagine a project without clear leadership. Chaos would naturally ensue. In terms of IT governance, adopting full cycle governance ensures that every phase of integration is thoroughly monitored, preventing oversights. And speaking towards accountability, activist accountability in particular, it's another governance approach where individuals take ownership of their responsibilities and they foster as best as possible a culture of responsibility. We also recommend a proactive management of change. Think of it as steering the ship rather than merely reacting to the waves,
Well, Sovon, those were some valuable best practices. Now let us join our third guest, who is Mr. Croswell Williams, who will share insights on the benefits realization approach. Croswell, welcome to the podcast. Could you walk us through the benefits realization approach and other practices?
Certainly, Latoyo. The benefits realization approach ensures that the intended advantages of the integration are not just conceptual, but are actually realized. For the first section, imagine, if you will, you're embarking on a great adventure. You planned every step from the starting point to the final destination. But here's the catch. What if the destination isn't as great as you imagine? The benefits approach is our compass in this integration journey. It basically ensures that the benefits that we've conceptualized aren't just on paper, but are very tangible and real advantages. It's about turning our conceptual dreams into the reality of streamlined processes, increase efficiency, and dare I say a harmonious workplace. Now let's talk about feedback elicitation and the people who are on the journey with us, our stakeholders. They are not mere passengers. They are co-pilots, navigators, and even the ones in charge of choosing the playlist. Feedback elicitation is basically our way of saying, what do you think about this route? It's about ensuring satisfaction among those who will be interacting with the system on a daily basis. After all, our road trip is more enjoyable when people, that is, everyone has a say in the itinerary. Now let's talk about observation and similar studies in such domains. Let's take a detour and visit the experiences of others. Why reinvent when we can learn from the road trips of others who have gone before us? Observing and studying similar application is like consulting seasoned travelers. It's about gaining insight, avoiding potholes, and discovering hidden gems. In the world of integration, this objective serves as our travel guide, helping us navigate the unfamiliar terrain with confidence. Now, for the last section, change management procedures. Last but certainly not least, we face the inevitability of change. Change management procedures are a toolkit for handling the unexpected bumps in the road. Just as a seasoned traveler carries a spare tire, we too need to plan for the unforeseen. Change is the only constant, and managing effectively ensures a smoother transition, preventing breakdowns and keeping the integration journey on track.
Well, Coswell, these practices provide a comprehensive approach to system integration, and I know indeed my listeners has garnered a lot from this. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts from my guest?
Yes, in summary, addressing these challenges and implementing best practices is the foundation for seamless system integration.
Well, for me, it's best to remember that success lies in very meticulous planning, governance, and collaboration with all members on board.
And remember to always keep the end goals in focus throughout your integration journey.
We have come to the end of our podcast for today. I want to thank the guests for taking the time to be with us today on this podcast, System Integration, Best Practices and Success Factors.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me as well. Same as it has been a pleasure.
I also want to thank the listeners for joining us today on Integration Insight, Navigating Success. To our listeners, stay tuned for more insights in further episode. I am your host, Latoyo Davy. Until next time, thank you for being a part of our podcast journey.